Hello, welcome everybody to the Anti-Stall Racing Touring Car Series Round 6. Today an Oran Park Raceway, beautiful track here.
Yeah, as you guys all probably know, it's a 2.6 kilometer circuit. Most people know this from at least most of the rookie series in iRacing. It's a well-known track. Perhaps not in this layout, but that's soon to change. We have a nice track temperature of 29 degrees and an ambient temperature of 25 degrees. So it's not a very super sunny day in Australia, but it's good enough to do some racing on. So we are currently heading into our qualifying session of the day. Let's take a look at what the drivers are doing right now, shall we? So
As you said, this is a popular track, especially for rookie series, but the time I was in rookie, I never drove this once.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, not a single time. I only drove on like Lime Rock Park and Tsukuba, and then I went to the other paid tracks.
Ah, fair. Yeah, I've got quite fond memories of this. This was actually probably the second track that I drove on ever. It wasn't the south layout, so that means where T1 you go straight into the little kink, you rejoin after the bridge. So where our #1 championship driver Brandon is going through now, you rejoin just a bit before here. So it's quite a tricky circuit, but it's very enjoyable. So
it's rare to see eight layout tracks like this one, Suzuka, for example, which is also an eight layout track.
It's an interesting one, but let's take a lap on board with Brandon, shall we, as he is the first one to cross the line and to start this lap. So, start-finish rate, it's a relatively long straight for such a small track. Coming out to turn 1, which you want to be all the way on the right on, turn in. It's nearly flat with these cars, a lot of counter steering as he goes through the kink. Hard braking for the next corner. You just see the car sliding underneath the bridge, preparing for a right-hand, almost hairpin, you could say. Takes it nicely, doesn't hit the curb. Watch out in the exit here as you can run right onto the grass. Prepare for another sharp right-hand turn. You can run pretty wide here, which is nice as you run up the bridge. There's a little kink towards the right, which I'm not sure is completely flat with these cars. They are not. So now you're preparing for the tricky infield section. Run all the way left, try to take as much speed through here as you can. Take all of the curb, then take all of the curb on the left side. Run wide on the right side as you take all the curb on the inside to run wide again. Don't run too wide as you'll compromise your run up to here on this pretty much flat out chicane. Very unsighted, it's nice. Big dip as they go into the last corner, and this is a tricky one. You want to take as much speed into it as you can, you want to take as much speed out of it as you can. Don't hit the wall here on exit, and then prepare your way for the long back straight. So we got Brandon.
This is the pit straight.
Start finish, pit straight, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, back straight is if it was the other straight on the other side, but yeah,
right,
that's
fair.
it. That was the lap. And he did do Brandon the fastest lap, so it was for Yoni Niemi for so far.
Yeah, so Brandon does the first lap, a 1:11.8. Joni following him, immediately putting down the gauntlet with a 1:11.6. So it's pretty decent. Some people just getting in some first sider laps, but it's gonna be a good one. It's a tough track, and we do have some new drivers around here. We have Andrew McEwen, who I don't believe I've seen before. And of course Luke Bullen.
No, Andrew just joined like 5 minutes before qualifying. Just entered the server and immediately we got to his account here on someone's already off. Yoni, who was being the fastest.
That's Yoni. He was on a good lap, but he unfortunately just lost the car onto the infield section, which is, it's such a fast corner. You just have to put one wheel wrong, and unfortunately you're from 0 to 0 pretty fast around here. Yeah, let's check one of our also drivers that we haven't seen that much before of, Marek Leolius, sorry, I have to pronounce right.
I believe he is familiar though. We have seen him before, maybe at the first rounds.
Yeah, I mean he has the Anti-Stall Racing Touring Car Series on the what do you call it, like on the sun visor. It's always great to see someone repping the Azure. Great to see, and let's see what they can do for a lap. About to finish with a 1:13.9, so not quite there on pace yet, but he is getting there. Andrew McEwen.
Oh, I saw it. It's on the top of the windshield, yeah.
Ooh, and Steve goes to P1 with a 1:11.2. Look at that, 3/10 ahead of Yoni Niemi. So either he's been able to fire up the tires, or he's just, or he's just doing really, really good. Here we go, Andrew McEwen. I believe it's going to be a 113, a 114, a 113.2, putting himself into P5. For his first laps in session, for his first laps in the race. That's a very, very, very good result. See Brendan putting in some of the purple sectors, crossing the last corner. You can go really wide there all the way up to the wall without getting off track, so it's a lot of space there. That's a 110.4. I mean, talk about throwing down the gauntlet, right?
Yeah, already on the 110s. That's the first 110 so far. And not the last ones you're going to see for sure. As Yoni already doing purple sector, first one, and he's crossing the line. Maybe, no, not yet.
110.7. So
it is on the 110s, yeah. So we are still, they are heating up, that's for sure.
And Brandon just keeps going. Look at the, he's putting in purple sectors already. Steve improving as well. 110.8 improves his time, but not his position. Yeah, let's head on over to Andrew, shall we? Who's just about crossing the last corner as well. What can he do? What can he get?
So it's interesting to see that car always goes a bit sideways on the first corner before the hard braking point on turn 2.
Yeah, and I mean it's a very we see some people fighting there, and I believe that's the purple car. I believe that's is that Leon Jenkins?
It is, yeah.
Number 85.
Motorsport.
Yeah, look at that.
Like Money Motorsport car, of course.
Leon already fighting the quote-unquote fan favorite.
It seems that Luke is simply just struggling to put a good racing line in general, because he's almost going off track in almost every corner. But maybe this lap is finally going to be one for the leaderboard. We'll see.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, yes, get one on there eventually, but that is probably not a good lap. So 160. No, it was invalid, unfortunately.
It didn't count.
Off track. We see Matteo. He's currently passing turn 2, I believe, in a little bit of a group of cars. One of the few drivers who are in that Audi. And we know the Audi has a great launch, so always looking forward to seeing those get off the line.
Oh yeah, it really gives an advantage to certain drivers here.
Oh, and that's just going wide. That's
not a new racing line.
Yeah, I thought we were in touring car, not rallycross. That's an option. That's something you can do. Going in Niemi currently, heading towards the final corner. Ooh, almost scratching the wall there, scraping some paint on his way out. But
is this it? Is this finally gonna pass Brandon again? And
he does.
He does.
By 0.04 of a second. Talk about cutting it close there.
Yuri has been really good in qualifying this season. Like, it's an extra competition here for Brandon and Yuri to be, the fastest qualifying. Even though in the race pace in general, or even the starts, Brandon has been winning almost every race.
It's a bit of a wide entry. Maybe going for a late apex could serve him there. Getting for a bit more speed on the exit there. What can he do? Andrew McEwen, which I believe is a 111.7, putting himself into P5. Would you look at that? Brandon is trying to fire back though.
Brandon's not. He's already got 2 purple sectors, but 2 yellow sectors.
Yep.
He only has the second purple sector. This is a really tough competition between those two.
So Brandon, he improves his time by itself.
With 3 yellow sectors too, so there's still space for Brandon to improve even more on his lap. He could reach the 109. But even Yoni, he's still not giving up either, so we'll see. It's really going to be a tough competition.
Oh, and
he goes to the pit.
He's cutting back into the pit lane. Maybe run. Oh, that's a big move from Steve there. You're not supposed to come out of the corner sideways, Steve, but welcome to try.
Is that illegal tire warming, perhaps?
Perhaps, yeah. And that's, I gotta say, that's one of these things I love about like touring car qualifying. It's not if you're, I'm gonna put in fuel for 1 lap and bang it out there in 1 lap only. It's basically just strap on some fuel, strap on a set of tires, and keep going for it. The tires just keep getting better and better and better until you run out of fuel. Driver's going for pit lane. Joni Niemi, Steve, both.
And also the track gets more and more rubber too, so it helps to keep doing more laps.
Yeah, and I mean at that point as well, you see drivers bidding for more fuel but not changing tires. They just want to keep the tire temperature in, you know. A little bit of wear from it is it's not worth just starting on fresh tires again for. Very interesting to see. Don't see that often. But let's go with our fan favorite Leon Jenkins as he's heading towards the final corner, the downhill left-hander. Any improves time currently P6, 1.6 almost seconds off P1. Let's see if he can improve his lap. And that is a drum roll. Not an improvement, in fell lap. Very, very unfortunate. Let's go on board with our number 10 driver, Marek here. See what he can show us around this track from his gyro-cam, the Hyundai. So once again, staying all the way left, turning in, hitting the apex, but not hitting that curb. You don't want to run too wide here. It's very easy to get an off track and invalidate your lap. You can see some of the tracks from drivers already having done that. Keep it very tight here. You can win a lot of time by just keeping your speed. Try and get as much speed through here as you can. Running wide, but not too wide so you don't get an off track. Again, judging by all the off tracks, people have been doing this.
So you have done racing on this track, correct?
Yes, correct. In multiple categories, actually. Funnily enough.
Where are the best overtaking spots?
Ooh, definitely. Of course, turn 1, turn 2 is a very good one. It's very dangerous to go side by side though, so you might see some drivers pulling out before the kink in turn 1. If you can get a good run, it could also be worth it going into the final chicane part. I guess if you can get a good run through the infield, that's good. But I'm assuming we're going to see most of our overtakes being done into turn 1, 2, and
like here.
Yes. It's
just seem hard to do though, because yeah, it is a really small corner that you gotta do on turn 1, just a little bit of the steering. But to be side by side there, it's just not gonna work, is it?
True, yeah, it's really hard. I think it's possible to do, but it's very sketchy. But it all depends on your last exit. If you're being followed by someone, we've seen Brendan Hawkin improving his time, 110.178. That's a couple thousandths improvement. But yeah, if you don't get a good exit from the last corner, you're being chased. With the straight being as it is, you've got a very good chance of someone putting it up the inside or compromising your own line into the kink. So it's you want to defend, but at the same time, if you go towards the inside, you're gonna lose your run through turn 1. That's unfortunately Marek probably invalidating us up there.
Definitely, he was like 4 wheels off the track. So
yeah, very unfortunate. See Steve has a couple greens on his radar there. Can he improve his time? There's 3 minutes left, so there's about 2 laps still in here. Yoni though, we see a couple yellows, but a purple sector. Check where Yoni is. Yoni is coming through the last corner. Very tight line. Can he improve his time? I don't think that was good enough to improve his time. Ooh, it was a 110.258. That's only 79 thousandths away from him. Right then as well, he's trying his best to improve his time. Both drivers are really trying their best, and Yoni is really trying. He has got the pace. He's shown it before. Previous race winner. So it's always good to see those drivers trying their best. Problem is all they're all really trying to get their times up there.
Well, they still have about 1 lap to do because in 1 minute 20 seconds the qualifying will end.
Ooh, yeah, that's going a bit too wide. You have to want outside of the race because that's also one of the parts. If someone behind you has a good exit, you can go too wide here. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. You're going to compromise both your drivers, but
it's so tight to do too wide that always on the inside is better though.
I mean, in general, yeah. But here, if you're on the inside, the outside can get a little switcher and get a better exit, and that might compromise you the entire way, down the straight.
We just have to wait and see.
Yoni, oh, he's getting really close. I don't think he has enough in it, but 17 thousandths, less than 2. Oh, that's Brendan Hawkin improving.
Brendan.
Yep, just on the cusps of getting a 109 You can see he's really trying, but you know, from what I heard yesterday from some drivers practicing, they were running 11.1s, 11.2s, and maybe 10.4s, and right now they don't do like low 10s. Ooh, we can see at the last moment Luke improving his time, getting a P8 in there. So I believe that would be, he's talking number 85 to come across. Leon Jenkins, fan favorite. Can he improve his lap? Got a couple yellows, one green. That an improvement? Let's see, currently P6, 1.7 behind. Does not improve his time, and that is our grid for race 1. So let's head on over to the grid. Give you a little rundown. On P1, we have Brandon Hawken. In P2, only 10th behind him, Joni Niemi. P3, Steve Hillwood, an 8/10 gap to P1. From Klaus, very close behind as well in P4. Andrew McEwen, our new driver in P5. Leon Jenkins, the fan favorite in P6. Marek Leolius, also one of our relatively newer drivers in P7. Luke Pullen, one of our new drivers in P8. And Matteo Lemarais in P9. So, you know, if I had to ask you, if you're a betting man, would you put your money in Brandon here, or are you going for the underdogs today?
It really depends if Yoni can get a really good start, because Brandon usually just sticks it in the front and there's no competition afterwards. But if Yoni can somehow skip it ahead of Brandon, then maybe Yoni has a chance and just has to defend really well. Because this doesn't look like it's going to be an easy track to overtake anyway, so Brandon might be in disadvantage if he gets behind Yoni. But both are on Hyundai, so it's not going to be an easy launch like we see with the Audis. It really depends on how the timing reaction is going to be here. Not to mention that from what I've seen Yoni, his laps are also really consistent, but Brandon was about the 10th each lap by difference. But if Yoni can pull out those purple sectors more often, then sure, he can get Brandon ahead. It just depends on how much both drivers are going to risk it, you know, because they might go for the safe route here.
Yep, and I was just waiting for the drivers to queue up on the grid. Last two drivers are getting ready. And here we go with the race. Starting 5 lights, lights are off, and away we go. And that's a good start from Yoni, overtaking Brandon already.
Actually, and look at that, Bram with the Audi just cruising in really close to them as well.
Yeah, that's the strength of the Audi, isn't it? It's just able to get such a good run there. And we do see Yoni. Oh, there's Brandon going sideways, hitting Bram as well.
The top three, they hit each other.
Top 3. Oh boy, that's a shame. And that just puts, you know, everything up in the air. I'm pretty sure race control will be taking a look at that to see what happened there, but I think that's just a very, very unfortunate. Yeah, we see right there Brendan, Brum, and Joni instant between number 1, 7, and 87 being investigated. But
I was never going to imagine that happening. The top 3 just getting eliminated right there.
Yeah, that's a rare error from Brandon, something we don't see happen a lot. Maybe just getting a bit pressured and just succumbing into the pressure, but...
He was on the outside and he stepped on the grass, but because he wanted to return to the track, it just made a T-boning Bram there.
That's very unfortunate, but I mean, look at that, the big gainers from that. Leon Jenkins going up 4 positions, Matteo Lemarais getting 6th position with the launch from the Audi. That's just absolutely crazy.
Yes, now
start as well.
For someone that started in last seat, that's a big positions gain here on the first lap. But now can he keep it?
We see a couple drivers scraping that, and here we can see the exit out of the last corner. It's ever so important. Merrick, unfortunately, not. It looked like he's getting a good one, but he's just not getting the speed here. Now already getting under pressure from Andrew McEwen. Not being able to make a move to P1. I think in terms of damage, they were quite fine. Yoni now looking to make a move onto Brum here as well. Not getting it done.
The cars are damaged, but they're not pitting. You saw the front of that cars, like that. Brandon's car is just super damaged in the front, but he keeps going.
Yeah, I mean, he's missing a front bumper, but he just he keeps on trucking. But yeah, and then I think the bit of the unspoken hero in here, Steve Hillwood, getting a lead already. A whole whopping 3 seconds. Just cruising away from there, while Matteo is now P2, holding his position there. And we've missed the pass from Matteo for P2, so let's very quickly check here. I think Matteo, Leon...
No.
Leon had a mistake. Yeah, that explains a lot.
Yeah. Leon couldn't keep that second place for that long, but he tried his best.
Yeah, now we have a driver we don't usually see in P2, Matteo Lemare. Can he handle the pressure? Can he keep up with it? And we see Luke, he's getting ready, he's trying to make a move, he's side by side, he's getting ready to put a move on. That's not the driver supposed to be looking at, Marek Lioli is actually.
Look at that! Brandon has a fastest lap even though his front is completely damaged.
Ooh, that's a bit of hardy-bargy in there. And a car going very wide, that's Leon, and I believe, is that Bram as well?
No, Bram went to the pits there. I think it was someone else.
No, that was Bram, I believe.
That was fun, man.
Oh wow, that's everything's happening at the same time, and meanwhile Steve's just running away with it.
Are we on race 2?
It seems like it. Is this the reverse grid?
Yeah, it seems like it. It really does look like it because we had the top 3 and behind, but now everyone's just struggling to keep it on the track as well. Like, so much chaos. But it's fun and exciting.
Yeah, let's we'll check back what happened there soon, but there's too much action going around now as going on. We see Andrew trying to put a move onto Matteo for the lead. He's going to need a good exit. He's going to need to get one here to be able to pass Matteo, but Matteo's been so good on his exit to make sure no one can pass here. It's such a tough one, but wow, we saw an overtake from Ernie. Nope, it was Brendan going off track, passing and gaining the position. It's such a tough one. All right, let's see if we can check back at what happened with Brom and Leon there. Oh, that's a bit too far already. Let's
It already happened.
see if we can head back a little bit. I believe we're gonna have to jump into Leon here.
Oh,
ooh, there's a lot of stuff happening there, and just them not being able to brake in time for.
Yeah, they weren't connected. It was just 2 completely separate mistakes.
Ooh, and here we
Matteo's already got past.
Yeah, Matteo got passed and immediately by Andrew and Joni, so we missed that. Unfortunately, we'll be able to check in a bit what happened there. But I believe there was maybe a little mistake from.
Joni can still make a pass before the lap end, so we have to wait a bit before we check what happened to Matteo.
If you see the message at the top of the screen, the incident between the multiple cars racing incident, also believe the incident between Bram, Brandon and Joni at the start was ruled as a racing incident as well. Very unfortunate, of course, but the driver going sideways, he tried a lot of things. Oh, it's apparently under investigation once again. That's make up your minds, people.
Also, Joni couldn't really make a pass this time because Andrew got a better exit. I think Joni had to lift off the throttle because he was going too quick into the turn, but it means that Joni can still make a pass. He is quite faster than Andrew. It's just a matter of opportunity to pass him, which corner he can do it.
Yep.
And Brandon finally went to the pit, it seems.
I think being Joni, you're going to have to want to put all your eggs onto the last corner basket. It might be hard. I mean, they're driving the same car. You'd assume their setups is relatively similar, so it might be tough to get a move on there. But if anyone can do it, we believe in Joni. He's shown time and time again that he's championship material.
And this is the best time for him to take advantage because of Brandon's mistake.
Here we go. We want to get ready. We want to get a good exit there. I believe that's a decent exit. Still 2 tenths.
It was super close. Yeah. Now you can get it from the slipstream. Pass right before turn 1, maybe.
Yeah, now you want to get into there, and it might be done on the braking. You might want to pull into the inside.
I don't think he can do it. It's already too far away. It seems that Andrew's car has a lot more speed on the straights than Joni's here.
I mean, it could.
So he has to do it on the corners.
It could be. Oh, here we can see. Just not completely side by side yet, but that might compromise Andrew here.
He's going to try it on the outside.
Can he do it here? Go for the inside. He's almost got his car in between, but he just barely can get it. And that's so close. Yeah. You can see him. He's almost pushing him ahead. And I wonder if that might be a little bit damage that Joni has from the incident in lap 1.
Can you just check a bit on the interior camera? Because I think it's just more of he's backing out before he hits the car in front of him.
I might be.
You see him how fast he goes here.
I might be wrong, but then it might be a little bit dent in his front hood. But I might be wrong. He gets so close here.
Yeah, but he constantly backs out.
There is a dent in his hood. It's quite obvious. You can see it like in his front bumper, like a little dent in there. But not sure how much it affects it. But you can definitely see on the straight he's not getting any closer. all getting a relative good exit, so it's gonna be tough for him. He might have to settle for a P3, but you know, we know Yoni,
No, I think
he's not
he
gonna
can
stop
do it.
trying. He's definitely not gonna stop trying.
I think he can still do it. Just needs to get it on the corners because that's where he has the best advantage, lap time wise.
True.
It's just a matter of which corner can he do it because this isn't really an easy track to overtake here.
True. Let's put it like this though. While we are looking at how Yoni can pass, let's take a look at Andrew McEwen. I mean, he's gone up 3 positions, went from P5, is now on P2, and he's defending against you know, previous race winner in Yoni Niemi. That's you know, that's something in and of itself to be proud of, isn't it?
Is Yoni steering dented?
Yeah, I'm trying to check as well. I just saw the message on YouTube as well from our good person Yargi.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
No, that there is a bit of there's a bit of a tilt in there.
We can see it better on the straight. Hold on.
Check here. You can definitely tell he's a little bit down on top speed. Yeah, it
seems like
it's not completely straight. Yeah.
And even how close he gets, it's not really closing in too much. Sadly, he has to pass it on the corner like forcefully or something because he cannot keep it on the exits on this exit of this before the straight. I mean, so this corner probably is the best opportunity, but he has to do a really good switcheroo. But yeah, Mandry is driving really well to defend from Yoni on his first race too. Someone would just join in 5 minutes before qualifying.
Yeah, I mean that's a great move there in of itself. I mean, really great driving for Andrew McEwen.
Did we haven't seen what also when did Matteo lose the 2 positions, right?
Yeah, I will be able to check back on that if you give me a second. Let's see, Matteo, where is our good friend? That is, I believe, the start there. What part we're looking for? See, Leon seconds being passed.
Oh, that was a massive shift there from Matteo, and he hits the wall.
Yeah, that's not where you want to go, but that does mean the entire rear of the field is now close together once again. That's a move from Merrick, going from P6 to P5. Can he get another move there? It's not good enough to get that now. Too wide. Oh, and that's it. And there he goes. Oh, it's a bit of contact, but a little bit hargy-bargy.
Yeah, and we saw the damaged Marek's front right there, a bit on the top of the hood, but they still keep going. They're still on the road, but now maybe Matteo can take opportunity from their mistakes because now they have damage. Yeah. Maybe it helps Matteo, but he has damage, so
I mean,
it's like
it looks a little bit like
yes. It
looks a little bit like a hopeful move from Marek there, but I believe, you know, with Luke not really getting the greatest of entries to the corner, there was a bit of space for Marek there.
Definitely not, because we did see him almost like spinning out. Yeah, a lot of smoke coming out from his car. It's just wiggled there.
He basically missed his entry for the corner, and that made a space for Marek to jump into. But as we're watching this battle, we did just see a purple lap pop up, and that's the purple lap Steve Hill with a 1:10.3, fastest lap of the race. So Steve leading laps, getting the fastest lap currently. He's really putting his name in there with a 14 second lead currently. That's something we haven't seen before. That's Brandon levels of domination.
It's even more than Brandon. Brandon usually has like a really fast driver in second place, but still keeping a 10-second lead if possible. But now even P2 now is fighting. He's on his own fight against Yoni, so he's trying to defend it a bit. We also see a position battle for P4, only below P7, which is Brandon, which is basically a lap down. He's not fighting there, but he is getting still a fastest lap now that he finally repairs his car.
Yeah, there we see fast lap being taken away by 1/100th of a second. The 10:35 replacing a 10:36 as a Basel.
There he goes, he's not finally on the inside, but ooh!
And that is the wall for Andrew, and that might cost him his P2 position. Side by side going into turn 1. We've seen this happen before. We've seen this end in tears. But what will happen here? 2 drivers going in. Will be 2 drivers going out. That's a very conservative corner from both Andrew and Joni, and that's Joni coming out ahead. And now
That's good
Joni
because
into P2.
Andrew kept it on the road. At least we saw so many people going outside on that corner. Even Brandon, which is our current championship leader, it's not something you want to do in a race like this. Or a
Yeah,
single mistake can cost you a lot.
true. And I mean, if you look at this race, Steve Hillwood in P1 up 2 positions, all fine. Joni in the same position as he started in, but that's completely not the story that happened in race 1, is it? Joni going from pretty much last place or second to last place back to P2. That's a valiant effort from the Finn. Yeah, we're currently checking Andrew still being able to hold on to Joni for now. The gap dropped to 6/10 a little bit, but he's getting back at it. Now on the straight, he might be able to catch back up a little bit if Joni is indeed missing the top line speed. I'll keep checking that speed and keep you updated. It doesn't seem like Joni is a little bit down on top speed compared to the driver behind him, Andrew. Reaching 205, 208, barely 208, while Andrew behind him is hitting 212. That's a bit down on top speed, you could say. But even with that, 7/10 gap. But behind, Marek looking to get a move onto Luke. Unfortunately not getting it. Luke defending the inside and making sure that Marek cannot pass. Meanwhile, it's a big gap from them to P3 of Andrew. So Andrew at least has a first podium secured for him in his first race.
Andrew almost beating his qualifying lap at this time. He is going really fast, but since it will be a reverse grid though, he still has to pass 2 cars at least on the future race. But that's how we usually see him on the first race being the lead of everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
So we might see on the second race the usual lead of about 10 seconds from the second place. Especially now that Joni is still, in second place, so he's going to start behind in 8th place. Since the top 10 is going to invert for the second race.
Yeah, I mean, you're correct. And what we normally see is Brendan having to fight his way through the field to from the place where he started into hopefully the place where he'll end up. But now he's going to start either on the first or second row, depending on if Brum is still around for his next race. But yeah, you gotta wonder, was that a tactical thing for Brum? Thinking like, hey, since having the moment, I might as well start from pole position in the next race? I don't think so,
because he's
right?
not doing the 80% lap, so he's not going to gain any points. Even though there are like only 9 people here, so there's less people here, so more points in general you can gain here. But
here we have race winner Steve Hillwood, first race win in the NSL Racing Series. As we're waiting for the rest of the drivers to come up, we got Joni Niemi. That's Leon.
Did he not win before? Steve, didn't he win in Nokia?
I don't think he's won here before, has he? Either way, second place, Joni Niemi, with Andrew finishing right behind him. Now Luke and Marek finishing very close together in P4 and P5 respectively. Mateo in P6, and in P7 we have Brendan Hawkin. Fortunately not his race so far. Yeah, we see in chat, I think Bromkind possibly forgot the 80% rule there. Should have kept going, he says. And that's very, very unfortunate for him, but...
Well, yeah, you should always keep going anyway. It always gives you some better, learning of the track conditions, especially for the next race you're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely correct, and we do see the results from Heat 1 showing up, with Steve winning by almost a 50-second margin. That's, as we said, that's Brandon Level's domination right there. Yeah, I mean, it's great to see. Of course, it's a big shame for Brandon, Brom, and Joni to be involved in the level 1 incident, but unfortunately, rare error from Brandon that we haven't seen before. Maybe a little bit cracking on the pressure of not having the greatest starts. Who knows?
Yeah, he was on the outside on that corner, so he might have went too far away from the corner apex on cold tires especially might have ruined his grip in general. But yeah, from that, even though Yoni got taken out there as well, he still kept going for a second place, which is not bad recovery from him for sure.
I mean, I gotta absolutely agree. What a lot of people don't realize is how slippery these cold tires are on the touring cars, especially with not that high ambient track temps. It really catches some people off guard, and as you can see, even a two-time championship winner of Brendan Hawken can get caught up in that sometimes. So yeah, with that does mean we have our grid ready for race 2, as the drivers just go around the track a little bit to warm up and to just get ready for the second race.
We saw how good the start from Bram was, and he's in the Audi. So on this race, it might take a while for even Brandon to catch him. But actually, even Leon is also on the Audi, so he has both Audis, which are going to do a better start than him.
I mean,
this is going to be interesting how long it can even take for Brandon to overtake. Also, Matteo is in an Audi. He is just circles around Audis here.
Yeah, I mean, we did see in the previous race, Matteo actually gaining a lot of position at the start just by getting that good Audi launch there. It's,
yeah. At one point, he was second place.
He really tried. Unfortunately, ending up in 6th place due to a what I believe was a small mistake from Matteo. And with all the drivers that close, making one small mistake can lead to multiple overtakes, unfortunately. But yeah, we're just waiting for the drivers to finish their warm-up. They're all having a little break, getting a little bit more time on track, as you can see. Just trying to find the limits, trying to find that lap 1 advantage that they need. All the drivers are going to be aiming for that.
Maybe even switch their setup because one of them might not have worked so well. Can do a lot of this time that we wait for the next race. So it's just 5 minutes and it should be ending soon.
Yeah, we're on 3 minutes currently. Drivers still have 2 minutes to. Oh, I do believe we see a checkered flag.
Or at least sorry, yeah, it's 3 minutes of warm up. So
yes, correct. That means the flagman was indeed doing his best there.
Yes. We are getting now to the 2 race, and we see how the reverse grid is going to go. With Bram starting now in 1st place, with Leon Jenkins in 2nd, Brad Hodkin in 3rd place, Matteo Lemarais in 4th place, Marek Liolias in 5th, Luke Pullen in 6th place, Andrew McEwen in 7th, Johnny Niemi in 8th place, and Steve Haywood, our race winner from race 1, in 9th place. So it is a full grid, reverse grid, since usually the top 10. Now we have less than 10 people, but it's still reversing everyone here.
Yeah, that's going to be something to watch. I mean, from the top 4, 3 of the 4 cars, basically everyone except for Brandon, are in that Audi, which is known to have that amazing launch. So it's I mean,
he has to do the Bottas kind of start, just be super predicting when it's going to go green. We saw how Valtteri Bottas is like a machine in race starts, and we go. It is green, so we see here Brandon still losing a bit of ground, but he's still keeping ahead of Leo, which did a bad start. Yeah, but he is in 2nd place, Brandon, so he only has 1 car to overtake, which is Bram.
We just see drivers getting swallowed up there from the start, but
Leon is just in last place now. He started in 2nd, now he got eaten up by everyone.
You gotta wonder if Leon just had a massively bad start there, but he just did not get off the line as he should have. Trying to get a better read on the timings, which we should have now. There we go. There's a big fight going on for P3 currently. Brandon on the chase of Brom already, and that's a move, and that's a big shunt for Matteo. Fortunately, we don't need to track and collecting Steve among a couple others.
It was right outside the bridge too, so it was a really straight place to do that. So it kind of blocked everyone there.
Yeah, we do see it's under investigation already, so we'll be able to check back what happened there, but we do see a move from Brandon. Brandon is on the tail of Brom here, gonna get a good exit. We've seen this go wrong before into turn 1, but that was lap 1.
Yes, and now we also don't see the speed disadvantage from the car behind, because he doesn't have damage this time. But yeah, we saw that Yoni got collected there, sadly. He was almost getting through from Matteo. And after a really good recovery from the first race, can he even recover from this one? Is he going to pit?
That's a good question. Let's look back real quick to what happened with Matteo there at the start. So did he get touched there on the braking? Seems like a little bit of a bump, but not too much. He went wide and then... Oh no, he just did not see the driver on the inside, and that's unfortunately a big collection there. 3 cars getting involved into that one.
4 cars, yeah.
That's very unfortunate. That is something we don't like to see, and I believe it's under investigation, so the stewards will be on that one. See Brendan trying to get a good exit. Oh, and oh, that's Brum going a little bit wide, and that's a very dangerous place to go wide there.
Yeah, it was an easy position here for Brendan. He didn't have to fight too much there.
Yeah,
so...
we do see a time penalty coming in for Matteo Lemarais, a 5-second time penalty for reactive blocking, which could make sense. I mean, we saw the driver on the inside have his nose in between there.
Yeah, it's a really hard, difficult place to blocking like that. It's too dangerous.
Here we see Leon and Luke going side by side. Leon on a warpath to make sure he's getting the position back. That's one done. I can see the second driver getting a move on. Marek trying to get towards the outside of Luke. Luke managed to defend. Now Leon going towards the inside, going to get his nose in between. He doesn't quite get it there, and Luke maintains at least one of his positions.
Yeah, that's actually a better way to do that corner, because we saw Marek doing it before after Luke lost a bit of control, and they end up each touching each other. So this time there was no contact. It was safer to go like this.
And while watching that, if we miss Brendan passing Brum there, because Brendan is now...
No.
Oh no, that was the off track.
That was a mistake. Yeah.
Correct. My bad, I'm losing about a second here, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the first half, that's sure.
Yeah, we do see the sun going down. I wonder if that's going to be a little bit of a contributing factor there. When the drivers maybe getting the sun into their eyes a little bit.
In 10 minutes, I think it should be fine.
I mean, it should be fine, but you know, with that ADR on, that sun might be blinding, you know? You've seen it happen before. Wouldn't put it past them. Alright, so that's the gaps forming a little bit. Luke is still trying to hang on to the back of Leon there. Leon making, unfortunately, losing 3 positions, but getting 2 back.
Yoni didn't pit. Have you seen it? Does he have damage? I couldn't check if Yoni, because he's still going and still doing 111.1, which is almost the same times as Brent.
That side of the car is not looking too happy there.
Yeah, it does seem like it is fine, but he got hit from the right side. So
the right side is looking very, very scrappy. As you'll be able to see once we actually have a corner that goes left instead of right. Or right instead of left. Either way. Which there are not that many of.
No.
You can see it being a little bit scrappy there. We should be seeing it in this corner now. As they come by. There we go. And that is a very, very scrappy side of the car.
Oh, yeah.
And a very big close-up.
Very damaged, yeah.
That's a position gain for Yoni over Marek. We do see a fastest lap coming in from Brandon, who's just taken the lead and is running with it. Absolutely running for his life with that one. Steve is also on a mission to get back, a 110.9, which is a casual 8 tenths faster than Andrew McEwen in front of him. Also a man on a mission.
Even Steve doesn't really... Oh yeah, he has damage on the front. We saw it because he T-boned, I think it was Matteo.
Yeah, we hear from Yargi that it's not too much damage on Yoni's car, or at least it doesn't seem to affect his driving, which is good to see.
Yeah, compared to before, which he was completely losing speed on the straight. Now True. It's better like this.
Judging from top speed though, Steve has a really, really, really sleek car. I mean, Steve is reaching a top speed of 214 kilometers per hour, while his his competition, Brandon or Bram, is reaching 208 or 209 even. So Stephen really looking for that for the top line speed on the straight. So if we do see a good exit, we might be able to see Steve using that advantage. Let's see what we can get here. Brandon, meanwhile, setting the fastest lap time 110.3. Andrew did not enter the pit lane. That is only just ran a bit too close to the wall there. Steve now on is still. Look at that top speed. He's trying to use it. Only 1/10 of the difference. Can he get something done? Turn 1. Andrew. Oh, Steve goes sideways. Oh,
Is that an overtake? Oh no!
that is not the way you want to try and overtake there, and that's a massive, massive hit on Steve's car, and I don't think he'll be able to keep that going. That front left wheel doesn't look happy there.
The car, it seems like it's smoking a lot to its complete.
That's going to be engine issues. Yeah, that car's down for.
It even looks like he has a flat spot on the tire.
A flat spot that looks like it's just a complete flat tire. That is a dead suspension right there, and then I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up parking it on the inside, or if he might. Actually, you know what? He might be running it back there to see if he's.
It's dangerous to do it like that because it might explode and the car might not keep going anymore. So.
Yeah, that's a very unfortunate.
As long as it doesn't block anyone, I guess he can do it.
Yeah, but meanwhile, the battle from before is on. Luke, Leon, and Yoni looking to fight for that B4.
Head cut. I think Yoni probably has slowed down just enough there because he cut all 4 tires on the corner.
Trying to get that battle box going for us right there.
Doesn't look like he got it on him because he's overtaking Luke Pellin. I guess it's fine. You can cut the corner like that.
Yeah, that's one way. Ooh, look at the driver's going sideways there. That's really throwing into the corner. Here we see last lap. Niemi just getting seconds per lap faster there. Really setting up those fast laps. He's doing everything he needs to do to get that in there. Here we see the battle for fourth continuing. Still, all 3 drivers within the same second. Yoni getting closer and closer to Leon, and we see Leon. He's able to handle the pressure, but is he able to handle a fin breathing down his neck? Looking to get that position. Going towards the final 2 corners of this track. Not really going to call the chicane a real corner on this track. See a different line being taken by Joni, just maximizing his speed there, getting ready for a good exit onto the straight. Wide line from Leon straight, get as much speed as he can out of the corner. So far it's working, but is working enough? 2/10. I believe with that top speed, his top speed currently is 216, which is a very, very big slipstreamy car. Not able to get it in here yet.
On top speed. But yeah, I think Yoni can overtake on the corners like we saw him do before. Because on the street, it's a bit hard to do with this car. It just might be setup, really, not damage itself. Because it's happened the same thing when he tried to overtake. Who is it? Andrew McKeon. Hey, look at how close Yoni keeps getting to Leon. Super close, but then he has to lift off to not hit the car in front, of course. But he wants to, he will try to, and he backs out a bit.
Yeah, I mean,
it has to be on the corners, just the right corner to do it. It's a difficult part because he might be cut off by the car ahead of you, because the car ahead of you still has to do the corner as well.
True, and I mean, you gotta remember as well, the hard part about this is, if you do get, like, side by side, you have to both compromise your corner. There is a third car in Luke Bolin right behind him to be able to take, and ready to take the position from them. And as we reach 10 minutes, we got 5 minutes to go, which is about 4 laps, most likely. We do still see Yoni hunting that B4, wanting to get back into those positions. 2 pretty well established and pretty well executed recovery races so far from Yoni. But yeah, we're not there yet.
Even though I think this one probably was worse for him compared to the previous one, because he was stopped for a lot longer.
Yeah, it's also last race we saw a lot of drivers getting behind Matteo in in that early incident, which after that early incident, yeah, it's just such a shame you can't really overtake in those corners. It's such a tight little winding circuit.
Yeah, and it always works better on hard braking zones for overtaking. This track doesn't really have ones, and before the hard overtaking spots, there's like fast corners too, so it makes it a difficult track to overtake.
Yeah, these cars they benefit from slipstream a little bit, but not by that much. It's not like where it's a prototype car where you just completely gain like tens of kilometers. Well, not tens, but like 10-ish kilometers per hour on the straight if you're behind someone.
Yeah, true.
They're a lot less downforce dependent cars. The gap they hit in the air is just not as big.
They don't get air washed either from staying behind another car on the fast corner, so they can just keep going on the same racing line.
Yeah, I mean, here we can see a good corner for Yoni, side by side now. He has the inside for the next two corners, and that is a move done. Look at that. Small mistake from Leon, and immediately Yoni just bouncing like the Finny is. That's a good move right there. That now might actually put Leon under pressure from Luke as well.
So, this, if it keeps going like this is going to be the second podium Andrew got on his first appearance too on the Anti-Sol Racing Touring Car Series. Not bad for the first day, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's how you want your first day to go, isn't it?
Sorry?
I said that's how you'd like your first day in a league race to go, isn't it?
Yes, it would be even better for a race win, of course. But you can still be thankful that he got some good racing, like when he did on the first race against Yoni. And now, yeah, this one is more alone for him, but he's still there. He's still trying to keep it on the track, of course. You don't want to do a mistake. But good for him to keep up with his race pace right now, because if he keeps going at this, yeah, it's a guaranteed fourth place for him.
I mean, in terms of lap times as well, he's not that far behind in terms of fastest lap behind Yoni. I mean, there's about 4 tenths to Brandon, who has just been driving in clean air and now has like 7.5 tenths in front of him, but that's still, you know, you still gotta do it. That's the car staying still on the inside of the corner. That's the number 10 car of, I believe, Marek Leolius, who's just not been having the race that he like, it seems like. If he had a small off track here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, he is just mowing a little bit of grass, which is a thing you can do. That all needs to be maintained as well, you know?
Yeah, it did lose him a lot of time, but that gave a position for Steve Haley there. Yeah. As you see, he also went to the pit. Maybe something else happened, like his wheel disconnected or something. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate to happen, but that does mean in a couple seconds Matteo is going to gain a position going from P9 to P8. Pit entry under investigation. Yeah, I believe that might have been a little bit of a wonky, weird pit lane entry, but that is Matteo moving up into P8.
Oh, 88 missed it. Did you see it? Right before Matteo? What happened to Matteo?
Well, oh, he just missed his turn 1, didn't he?
Yeah, I just saw some smoke and he going outside.
That is not the... That's the drift. Just trying to do the Fast and Furious drift there, you know?
At least he missed the wall, but...
And that is position back for Marek.
Yeah.
So, you know, race is on. Race is on.
He keeps his last place again.
Yeah, we now have Luke Holden looking to gain a position on Leon. Currently 2 drivers close on track, 9 tenths going down to 8 tenths. Leon just losing a bit of time, but that's a very, very hot entry from Luke there, which would explain why he was gaining so much time. We do see a warning coming out for Leolius for unsafe pit entry, which I believe is just cutting across the track and going in sideways.
It's a good thing that Luke didn't even put a single wheel on the grass, because otherwise the car could just instantly spin.
Yes, correct. But we are heading towards our finish, and we do see our race leader, Brandon Hawkin, about to take the checkered flag. He won in race 2. Didn't completely go his way in race 1, but race 2 he managed to get it back in there. P2, we see Brom Klaas heading over start finish. Andrew McEwen now in his first race, 2 podiums. Coming home in P3, blinking those lights, being very happy. Joni Niemi, probably not something he wants to write home about, but still good results. A P2 and a P4. So good on him. Leon Jenkins finishing in P5, with Luke Pullen right behind him finishing in P6. Steve Hillwood already taking the checkered flag, finishing that race. And now we're just waiting for the last 2 drivers, Marek and Matteo, to finish that race. They're not too far from each other, and anything could still happen. Marek could make a little mistake somewhere and lose his P8 to Matteo. Let's go to Marek as he's going through the last corner. ready to finish his race. Probably something he wants to forget rather than remember for today. And I would believe that would be same for Matteo, getting the 5-second time penalty on top of finishing P9. Probably not the day he wanted, but unfortunately that's the day he got. And with that, we have the results for race 2 and a little bit of a drift from Matteo to send us off there. We have our race 2 results with Brendan Hawkin leading from Brom class in P2, Andrew McEwen P3, Joe Niemi P4, Leon Jenkins in P5, Luke Pullen in P6, Steve Hillwood in P7, Marek Leolius in P8, and Matteo Lemarais in P9. So, was that everything we wanted for a race today, Mr. Paolo?
Certainly a lot of racing to be having. A lot of incidents happening as well. We saw a lot of mistakes even from the best drivers on the series, but that's the thing that happens when you are even the way if you are good on this car, have a lot of experience, you can still do mistakes. Also, are we going to do any interviews? Maybe.
Yeah, I believe so. Let's see if we can get our two good friends, Brandon and Steve, in here. I'm sure they'll we wanted to do one, or for race 1 winner Steve and race 2 winner Brendan.
Also, be curious to see Andrew because he is new to this, and even Bram. See, I mean, Bram did a really solid race, but yeah, I'm more curious about Andrew on his first race.
Yeah, of course. Meanwhile, I do believe we have our race 1 winner Steve Hillwood available for a chat. Good evening, Steve.
Hello there. How are we today?
Hello, we're doing quite well. How are you doing today?
Yeah, not too bad. I think I'm going to rename my name Moses after that first race.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw the contact happening between Yoni, Brandon, and Brum there, and the lucky winner from that was you. You managed to drive away, get a nice gap. You saw the rest of the field being, I don't want to say held up, but definitely getting stuck behind Matteo a little bit.
Well,
how was that for you?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I'd kind of like literally had my popcorn there watching that from the start. So Bram had a cracking start. Bram just, I don't know what he had in his car, but he had some hell of a pull away on the start. So I dropped into 4th, but I kind of knew it was kind of 3 wide going into there. This track's notorious. Hung back a bit and just watched it unfold and just dived to the left and got away with it. So then I just held it together, just kept it clean. And yeah, nice win. Second one, I don't know. I've got to look at whether I hit the grass, but I kind of typical iRacing physics a little bit, but I made a mistake, and you pay for it on a track like this.
Yeah, very fortunate. We did also see you getting involved in that the early incident with Matteo, and I believe that was Merrick, but I'm not entirely sure who that was with. Yeah. You got collected there a little bit. Did it hurt your race, or did you?
No, not really. I mean, I got up to 4th and I started last, so I can't complain. And I should have maybe just thought about it a little bit more. I was quicker than the guy in front of me when I crashed, and I should have maybe just held off a bit. Used my exit speeds a bit more cleverer, but that's sometimes racing, isn't it? You make a decision, and you win sometimes, and you lose. And in that instance, I came off the stupid one. I'll learn for that next time, but that was some good racing out there today. It was a lot of smoke in my mirrors, but yeah, good fun.
Yeah, right, fair enough. So next week we're going back to a traditional UK track in Donington Park. Are you looking forward to that one?
Yeah, that's my most favourite. That's my fastest track by a long way. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, I definitely would be hoping to get podium finishes on both races there. It's a brilliant track for racing because you've got so many straights. You've got some excuse me. Oh dear.
That's all right. Get a bit of water.
You've got some sort of dodgy corners where you've got some adverse cambers. It can really play one way or the other with it. But you know, I'm certainly got high hopes for next week. And we've had a couple of new guys join us this week, and you know, it's good. It's some really good door-to-door racing out there at the moment. It's really good fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great watching you guys. It's been absolutely lovely to see. And I believe Paolo and myself had a little argument in there. Did you or did you not have a race win in perhaps Knockhole, or at least Knockhill, not Knockhole?
No, was it? No, it was Road Atlanta, wasn't it? Road Atlanta's second race.
Ah, fair enough. Yeah, we were thinking if you had a race win underneath your belt, or this was your first one in the season 3, but no, 2 race wins.
Well,
congratulations so far.
Yeah, at least Andy can't moan now because I didn't win it from a reverse race. So.
Hey. I mean, there were some other conditions, as we like to say, but hey, I mean,
that's racing.
I mean, to finish first you got to finish, right? And that's that's of course some other people can say, of course.
It's one of those tracks where if you don't keep it together, you go off, and it's so hard to get back on the track. So yeah, I'll take the win. I'll take the win and push it on to next week. I'm pushing for that second slot, but I lost out a little bit to Johnny there on the second race. But onwards and upwards. Looking forward to Donny.
Beautiful. Well, I mean, Steve, thank you for your time. We're looking forward to seeing you next week in Donington.
Okay, guys. Catch us all later.
Yeah, have a good one. And I do believe with that we also have our second race winner of Brendan Hawkin. Brendan, you're sort of becoming a regular guest in here these days.
Oh yeah, I always love coming here talking to you guys.
We should just invite you to booth permanently. It seems like.
We have Max Verstappen's podcast on F1. We also have Brendan Hawkins' podcast in.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If like I'd love to try some broadcasting. You know what? Actually, no. I'd probably mess it up really bad. I don't know. But you know what? Yeah, it's always fun coming in here, talk about the race. We had an eventful one today for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's been 2 quite interesting races. So race 1, we saw a very uncharacteristic mistake from you. Can you tell us more about what happened in race 1?
Yeah, that was just a really dumb mistake for me. So off the start, both Yoni and Bram got a better start than I did, and I went to the middle, so I didn't get split 3 wide, and then from there, like Yoni had a compromised entry, so I tried leaving room, but I left way too much room, and yeah, I know for next time that was my first time trying to go side by side through there, and yeah, I didn't know how much room to leave, but I left like probably a solid car width and a half there, and and when I got on the brakes while turning, it just the back end just came around, and I was trying, like I held the brakes down. I was trying not to kill anybody, but I got into Bram, which sent him into Yoni, and they went spinning off the track. Felt really bad about that, but luckily none of them had really any damage from that. I don't think. I let them go there. That was just really really bad on my part. But I know for next time, so yeah, we'll next time entering high there, I'll try and squeeze the car on the inside a little bit more, just so I don't pinch myself off on exit. But and then yeah, coming on lap 2, I was making a move to the inside of one of the launchers, I think, and then there was a car on the outside that was going really slow, and then they turned left and got me in my right front, and that basically killed the car. So I had to come in after wrecking it, and then. But yeah, second race it went a lot smoother. Good race there with Bram there at the beginning, and man, yeah, just I felt like kind of a wrecking ball the last 2 weeks. The wreck there last week, there was a car that, like, on my screen they were completely out of my windshield view, and then on the replay they were just above me, so it looked like I just plowed straight through them. And of course this race, but you know what, had a clean second race, so I'm hoping just to carry that into the next few rounds here. We got Donington. It's a really tight track. It's going to be some really close door-to-door racing, so I'm just hoping to keep it clean, not do anything stupid, and we'll see if we can get some good results.
Yeah, I mean, there should be some good races coming up. As you said, next week we have Donington, a very, very twisty circuit, but a lot of long straights, a lot of harsh braking zones that could, cause for some interesting corners.
I definitely. Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say the week after we've got a more traditional American circuit with Virginia with a lot of flowy corners, and then we got Zolder, which is also going to be a lot of chicanes, a lot of potential for going too wide into places. So would you say that the upcoming tracks play towards your strength, or are you worried for? You've already got a big point lead, but are you worried for like any big challenges in those tracks?
I think the biggest challenge I think is gonna be Yoni. That currently like really picked it up since the very beginning of the season, and yeah, he's really fast. So I'm just gonna try and play the points game. Hopefully, of course, I'd like to beat him on track. We haven't gotten too many battles this year, like unless like one of us is like something's happened to the other, and you know. But yeah, no, it's gonna be some yeah, really great racing with him, I think. And Donington, it's like I love Donington, but it's also gonna be one of the more treacherous tracks because it's such a thin track, and you can also like really use that to your advantage by like crossing over. It's gonna be some really good stuff. It's gonna be tough to make moves, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I think I'm looking forward most to VIR. I for the longest time I couldn't figure out the first sector, but since then it's been one of my favorite tracks. So I'm really looking forward to that. And Zolder, I've never done a race at Zolder, so I'll have to learn that. But VIR, definitely looking forward to that for sure.
All right, beautiful. I mean, we're looking forward to seeing you guys as well. Don't know if you have any more questions to our race 2 winner, Paolo.
No, they've already explained enough.
Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it's like racing. Once the guy starts, he runs off, doesn't he?
Yes, and I'm also trying to take a picture here of the first.
All right, beautiful. Well, I believe with that, Brendan, thank you for joining us. Thank you for racing once again, and thank you for the interesting race 1 and the good battles on race 2. Absolutely.
Oh, no problem. I didn't do it on purpose, but you know.
We know. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So see you guys next time, and yeah, I hope to have some really great racing there. So yeah, it should be good.
Beautiful. Yep. Thank you, Brendan. And
thanks, guys.
I believe with that we've reached the end of our broadcast for today. I just want to thank Paolo for being with me here once again today and commentating on this great series, if I do allow myself to say so.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you, Paolo, and thank you everyone watching. You guys have been an awesome crowd. You've you stuck with us so far, and we're completely happy with that. Next week, we'll be back on the same time, same place on Donington Park. So we hope you join us then, and we hope you have a good evening. Everyone, have a great day, and, keep it good, keep it racing.
Yeah.